Wow. Oh! Ugh. Well, I'm at Torches today doing a little bit of helicopter content. The guys are just out here flying and having a good time. It's been a fun event. They had pizza and some sausages on the grill and just a bunch of guys flying their helicopters. It's been an enjoyable afternoon. In a little while, we're going to get Bird out. He's been working on a Rotor Flight Nitro setup. We've been kind of working on his radio today and his settings to get that all dialed in for him. And he's really got it humming. So we'll get some video of that in just a little while. And if you're not familiar with Torches, it is a helicopter specific field in Orlando. And it stands for the Orlando Radio Controlled Helicopter Society, so Torches. This is also the scene of the Winter Bash that's held every year. We'll be covering that. That's coming up in a couple of weeks, and we will be out here for that for sure. Whoa. I don't know what happened there, but he recovered. Amazing. Bird flying his Ill Goblin Pro. It's got the blue scheme, and we've discovered throughout the day that the blue really kind of makes it hard to see. Looks really cool on the bench, but man, it blends in with the sky really well. That is Rotor Flight and Express LRS right there. And he's got it really dialed in.
The Goblin megaphone boom noise. Huh?
It's like that loud and left. How loud is it in right?
It's louder, I think. This rotor flight stuff is so responsive on the collective that doing like a quick stop is deceiving because it reacts so much faster.
You know, it's a perfect
Like this kind of stuff.
Within a month, it'll be what you're used to. Brilliant.
Not a pretty landing, but a landing.
That was a pretty landing.
No comment on the landing.
All right, Bert, you've been flying rotor flight for, what, a couple of weeks now, like 2 weeks, right?
Like probably 3, yeah.
3
2
weeks?
or 3, yeah.
And
yeah.
how's it going? What have you learned?
I've learned a lot. A lot. I learned that yes, it's complex. Yes, you need to spend some time learning it. There's a lot to learn, not only because of rotor flight. Rotor flight actually has not been very difficult. It's the whole thing of
The whole ecosystem?
yeah, the whole ecosystem of Express LRS with, you know, the OpenTX with rotor flight. But you know what? Now once I had the first one going, the second one got easier. And then of course I hit a roadblock when I tried to do nitro, right? Nitro is a different animal for a million reasons, but thanks to you, I've received a lot of help from Zhao and Bao, from you, from Tommy Elder, who lives here in Tampa. And yeah, I mean, it's a great community. Everybody wants to help each other. So
yeah.
So far, very, very happy. In fact, I have 4 helicopters now out of the total 6 I own running on rotor flight.
Nice.
Most of them with the Nexus. So
very good. What about flight characteristics? You mentioned that you felt like you got to get used to it, but you don't really want to change the way you have it set up now. But there's obviously some control difference from what you came from.
Yeah, so I've been flying V-bars for, I don't know, so long, like 8 years, 10 years. And I mean, a V-bar is an amazing flying flight controller, but with this, I don't know, I think it's a combination of all the above. Number one, you have a faster transient time, you know, transmission time, RF time with Express LRS, number one. So you're more connected to the machine. Number two, I know for a fact the sensors on the Nexus are much higher quality, and I'm not mentioning other brands, but it's a higher quality than most of them there. So that helps too. And then on top of that, you have the ability to fine-tune things more in depth than you do with most other systems. And by, you know, tuning your PIDs, your feed forward gains, and all kinds of stuff, adjusting filters. I'm running like almost no filters now. I dropped the filters way, way down, and that just gave it even more of a crisp, more instantaneous reaction or reactive feel, right? So yes, it's going to take me time to get used to because my thumbs are old, my brain is a little old, my eyes are old, but I mean, I can't compare myself to this guy right here, for example, but I think it's to the point where if I just keep flying it in another 20, 30, 40 flights, I'll be totally in tune with it and won't ever look back. I don't think.
It'll start to feel more at home. It's
absolutely.
It's like switching radios or switching cars even. You know, you have to get used to the new
literally,
equipment.
if you fly a TX16, John, yourself, and you buy another one, brand new, and you try to adjust the stick tensions the same, whatever, it's not going to feel the same for a few flights.
Right.
I don't know what it is, but it's just the way we are flying these things and getting used to a certain feel. So yeah, I mean, changing radio, changing the reaction feel because of Express LRS, changing so many variables, it's going to take me a while to get used to, but the machine right now is flying spectacular. It just needs a guy that's more accustomed to the whole ecosystem to make it look even better, but I'm happy, man.
Have you encountered any obstacles you couldn't overcome with a little study or, you know, getting into the community? Has there been anything that you have been unable to do in terms of the setup?
No, not at all. Like, I mean, you helped me today. For example, I had my nitro up and running, and it was fine, okay. You know, again, I had some, not struggles, but a lot of research, because nitro is a different animal, and it takes a lot more settings. And, you know, you have a electric glow driver that ignites your glow plug. You have direct throttle control for your normal bank one or whatever. Like, there's a lot of things happening there. But I had it running, and today I wanted to enable telemetry, and I, for some reason, wasn't working. You know, you helped me a lot today with a lot of the stuff like that. So there's nothing that anybody cannot learn if they spend the time to learn it,
Yeah.
or if they seek the help, right, or look for the help.
Yeah. That's one thing I emphasize a lot, is that when you're switching like this, ecosystems, it takes a little investment in time, but man, the payoff is worth it, because it's got a crazy good value proposition.
I agree, but once you get to that level, I feel like once you have that first machine set up, if you're just an electric guy and you get your first machine flying, any other machine from that point on, it's really not a big deal. I mean, I literally, you remember, the first kit, we did a video together at the Larks field. The first helicopter I set up on this was the Tron Dynamic, which is a 6S 700 size machine. This machine I set up the next day at home, and I'm not kidding you, it took me about, I would say, 45 minutes. From ripping my old flabberless unit to, like, you know, running, you know, plugging in the wire, the servo leads and all the connections, to sitting with my laptop, restoring a backup from the Tron, and then fine tuning those things that needed to be adjusted for this one machine. Like, you know, the collective, the cyclic, the tail, you know, and the mixer screen. And then, of course, resetting my ESC so that it would learn the new values for the throttle, things like that. No more than 45 minutes, and it was flying probably 95% great. I just had to make some couple of PID adjustments after that, which I did over the next 10 flights, and now it's flying as good as it could fly. So
very good.
Not hard, really. I mean, the first one is, don't get me wrong. But again, I think it's worth it's really worth it, because once you get over that hump of the initial part of the learning curve, everything else gets so easy that it's a no-brainer. You're not even going to think about it.
Yeah.
I know systems, I'm not going to mention names, but I know systems that are selling for well over $2,500 for transmitter and flabberless that are almost as intense in terms of the learning curve as this is, and this, you can have 35 flight controllers for the price of one radio there. So.
And speaking of that, it's no secret now, because it's on your website, it's there. You are going to be carrying the Nexus on bkhobbies.com, right?
Yep. We're carrying the Nexus, the receivers, the transmitters.
The whole deal.
The whole deal. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we're starting small, but we're going to grow it over time. So, coming very soon.
All right. Thanks, Bert, for the updates. Appreciate it, and great to see the progression, man.
Thank you, John. Appreciate you.
Rotor Flight's here to stay, guys. I got news for you. Here to stay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Take care.
And what is it that Freddie says? Go fly. Or
that's my line. I say go fly something. He says, take it easy, folks. There's a raw 580 flying. I like that helicopter. Mine's back up in the air flying too. Good looking machine. Very nice. Wow. Ooh. Ugh. All right, Bert's gonna fly the Bert Kemmer Edition Tron Nitron Nitro helicopter. And we just spent some time today working on his Edge TX configuration so he can have his idle setting on a knob. So that is a rotor flight, that's a Fly Dragon in that one with the integrated Express LRS. Hard to keep up with that. It's really fast. don't think I've ever seen him fly a helicopter with a canopy on it. That's a first. Well, I'll put a link in the description for the Torches website. If you fly helicopters and live near Orlando, this is definitely the place to be. Torches is the Orlando Radio Controlled Helicopter Society. Link will be in the description for their website. Proof you can knife edge a helicopter. Auto. Hey, if you like this kind of content, make sure you subscribe, smash that thumbs up button, and hit the notification bell so you know new videos hit the channel. That's all I've got for today. Take it easy and get out there and fly something.